Morning everybody, it's Norma here. Welcome to your Friday morning slow flow. I hope everybody's had great weeks and you're looking forward to the long weekend. We get a long weekend, yay. I've been on holidays this week and it was a nice long needed break. So I hope that everybody takes an opportunity to serve yourself and your body when you know that you need a rest or a break, that you find something that can help you to replenish and fill back up. So we're just a few minutes out here this morning, about 2 minutes. So if you've arrived already, welcome. My name is Norma and we're going to get started in a seated position today. So just a reminder that this is an all levels class. We'll be doing some modifications. Reminder, I can't see you out there, so take this at your own level. If there's something that I'm offering that's not in your practice, hopefully I'll give you some alternatives that may suit your body better, or always permission to skip a posture and do something that serves you better or feels good in your body. So we are going to meet on our mats. Just a minute out. Going to put some music in the background here. So far so good. It's come through and Facebook hasn't had any issues with that. So good morning. Thank you for joining. It's 7:30 now, so we're going to get started. So good morning. Happy Friday. So find your way into a comfortable seating position on your mat. Just do any adjusting that you may need to remove any extra flesh underneath your sit bones. Sitting in a tall seat, hands can be resting on your knees if you feel like you need some grounding, or palms can be facing up if you feel like you want to receive more this morning. Let's just take a few breaths here to arrive. Feeling your shoulders begin to fall away from your ears. Allowing the tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth. Maybe even invite a smile. Good morning. Nice to see people joining this morning. Welcome. Feeling that support that your mat is giving to you. Feeling your buttocks anchored to the ground. Just take a moment to observe. How are you feeling this Friday morning? Is there any area that may be feeling some tension or some tightness? Just awareness. Maybe sending some extra breath into that area. Inviting a breath that travels in through your nose and out through your nose now, just with that slight constriction at the back of your throat, kind of like you're snoring a little bit. Knowing that if something's come up and you want to clear, opportunity to at any time inhale through your nose and exhale, sigh, let it all go. Make all the noise that you want to make. This is your practice. Big permission to feel all the feels here on your yoga mat. 2 more breaths, just feeling centered and arriving. Beautiful, guys. Taking your right hand, reaching it over to your right side, taking your left hand and reaching it up and over. Try not to sit back, sitting up tall. You may bend into your elbow a little bit on the right side if that gives you a little bit more space, or even walking your hand out. Big breaths into the left side of your body. Beautiful, guys. Coming up through center, taking that left hand now, reaching the right hand up and over, sitting tall in your seat, and maybe taking that left hand out, maybe bending in the elbow to bend deeper into that stretch, feeling that stretch in your right side of your body now. Slow and steady, one more time, each side. A little flow, even to start here. As your gaze goes up over your left side as well. Breathing through center, last time on your left. Beautiful, guys. Coming back to center. We're just going to do some seated cat-cows here to warm up our shoulders more. So if you can bend forward, arching your back, and then straightening up into cow. And sorry, I started with cat first, so let's straighten our spine out and begin that one more time. Inhaling, lifting your chin, cow. Exhaling, cat, stretching up, chin comes to chest, belly button to spine. 2 more times, cow, and cat. Making movement with your breath. Beautiful, guys. Just gonna turn to the side so you can see me. So we're gonna inhale our breath all the way up, and we're gonna exhale, reaching forward. And again, what feels good in your body here. Just feeling that stretch in the upper back. Beautiful, guys. Coming back to center, we're going to transition into tabletop position, setting our fingers a little bit forward in our mat as we bend and tuck our toes, and hips are up and back to downward facing dog. So with our first inversion here today, offering your body any movement that may be craving. Maybe it's pedaling your heels out, maybe deeply bending into the right knee, letting the left heel come down to the ground, and switching. Bring your heart through that, opening of your arms, lining your biceps up with your ears. Let's do one more on each side. Bending generously into the right knee, offering our left heel to the ground, and switching. Left knee bending generously, right heel comes to the ground now. And coming back to center and just maybe wagging your tail from side to side, just giving your hips a little bit of movement. We're going to get into our hips a little bit this morning, so we want to just take an opportunity to warm up our hips as well. Offering some stillness now as we inhale through our nose, exhale, sigh, let it all go. Beautiful, guys. Bending our knees, looking to the top of our mat and traveling there. However you travel there. You may hop, you may walk, or maybe take a big step. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Come back onto camera. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise and shine all the way up. Bringing hands into heart center. So just in your mountain pose, your Tadasana, just now feeling that groundedness in your feet. Is that a word, groundedness? Grounding in your feet. Taking your toes off the mat, flaring your toes out wide. Now let's just take a moment to place each toe down one at a time. Feeling that strength in your legs. Again, that grounding that you're getting from your mat, that support that it's offering you. Inhale. Exhale, bring that back into your heart one more time. Inhale one more time. This time as you sit down into your chair. So when you're sitting in your chair, making sure that you can see the toes of your front foot or of your feet. Your knees aren't coming forward. Hands can be at heart center. Or you can bring your hands up, kind of like you're holding on to this beach ball. Beautiful, guys. Taking our hands back to our heart and letting it all go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back for our first vinyasa. So high or low plank, what serves your body. I'm going to go low plank today. Lowering all the way down to the mat. Breathing our head and our chest up just to a little baby cobra here as we're warming up. Exhaling, planting your heels up and back, downward facing dog. Always an opportunity to travel through table as we go to our downward facing dog. Can you take your right leg up behind you? Bend your knees, stack your hip, and just offer some circles. As I mentioned, we're going to get into our hips a little bit here this morning. So we just want to open up that joint, stacking right hip on top of left, and just 3 circles with your knee one way, and then 3 the opposite way. Beautiful, guys. Taking your foot back behind you, looking to the top of your mat, and stepping all the way through. Taking your left foot on a 45. Anchoring for some stability here before rising up into Warrior One. So Warrior One is a closed hip posture. You want your hips facing forward. That foot is on a 45, as I mentioned, and we're bending into that right knee. Once again, observing that you can see the toes of your right foot. So alignment first, hips are forward. Hands can stay on your hips, or you may offer them into prayer here. Or once again, coming up. Maybe your gaze follows. Beautiful, guys. Are you still breathing here? Taking your hands behind you now and making a clasp of your hands. Stretching your arms down your back, opening up your chest. So if you have anything gunky going on in your shoulders, this may not feel comfortable for you. You can always clasp just opposite forearms. So opening up your chest as we bow forward, offering our right shoulder into our right knee. Try not to put your buttocks out. Can you humble your warrior? Big breaths here. Flossing out our shoulders. Beautiful, guys. Letting your hands come down to the mat. Can you reach for the outer aspect of your right mat as you lift your left foot up off the mat, like you're standing on the wall behind you. Half moon pose. So, oh, I fell over. These things happen. So you can come up on your tented fingertips here. We want to open our left side of our body, stacking hips on top of each other again. So if you've got your balance and you want to challenge yourself a little bit, maybe your arm comes up and maybe your gaze follows. Even if it's just for a second. Beautiful, guys. Letting your left hand come down. Left foot meets right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Just let it hang there for a moment. Beautiful job, guys. Letting that go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and rinse it out with a vinyasa. Higher low plank. Maybe you're coming up into a little bit more of a upper cobra or maybe upper dogs in your practice. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. And I'm just going to scooch around to the opposite side so you can see me and see how everybody's doing. Morning, guys. Alrighty. So a little bit different this morning. A few different poses that we haven't done for a while. Mixing things up so you guys keep coming back for more. Alrighty. You take your left leg up behind you. This time, bending your left knee, stacking your hips, and offering some circles now with your left knee. 3 one way, and 3 the other. Slower than you want to. Beautiful, guys. Coming back to your 3-legged dog. Can you step your left foot up? Preparing for warrior 1 on the second side. So again, getting your foundation, stepping your right foot out on a 45, coming up with hands on hips, bending into that left knee. And if you're feeling like you're falling over in this warrior stance, always an option just to widen your stance here. It just gives you a little bit more stability. And when you're feeling grounded, taking your hands to heart center, or maybe breathing them up. And if it's in your practice, if you want to inhaling and just leaning back into a slight back bend, just making sure that you're not crunching into your back. Your chin remains humble. And I like you're holding onto a grapefruit underneath your chin. If you go back and flare your throat open, it compromises your breath and it crunches up your neck. Beautiful, guys. Taking your hands behind your back and just changing the clasp of your hands this time. So if it was right hand inside, just switch it to your left hand inside this time. So stretching our arms long down our back without losing that bend to your knee. Can you bow forward? Bringing your left shoulder now to your left knee. Humbling your warrior. So this is a great posture for us to remember that although we're beautiful warriors, sometimes that we need to remember that the yin and yang of things, that it's also nice to be soft. And here, as we're humbling ourselves, you can realize that We don't always have to be fierce. Beautiful, guys. Taking your hands down to the mat, reaching up with the left hand, that left corner as you drag your right foot up behind you. Just getting your balance. Like that right foot is standing on the wall behind you, coming up on tented fingers or flat on the mat if you have that movement. Half moon, second side, so hand can be on your hip, or maybe you open your chest up. And maybe your gaze may follow, even if it's just for a moment. Beautiful, guys. Nice job. Taking right hand down, right foot meets left. And let's just shake ourselves from side to side. Good job. Give me inhale, halfway left. Exhale, forward fold. Draping our heart towards our legs as we rise up all the way up. Bringing all that energy we've created into our hearts. Beautiful, guys. Can you take your feet as wide as your mat? So your toes are maybe hanging off your mat and your ankles are just on the edges of your mat. And just like we did a few weeks ago, going from side to side with your knees seesawing as we're going into a goddess squat. But this time we're going to come all the way down into Malasana. So your knees are wide, your arms are helping your legs fly open, hands are in prayer, and we're sitting nice and tall. Try not to round out your spine. And can you find 5 breaths here? One more, wherever you are. Try not to hold on to anything. Exhale, sigh, let it all go. As you take your hands to the mat, letting your hips go and offering any movement that you want to do to let that go. Good job, guys. That's a hard one. Bringing your feet back into shoulder distance apart. Inhaling flat back. Exhale, rinse it all out with your final vinyasa. Or you can meet in down dog or child's pose, because that's where we're going. Beautiful, guys. 5 breaths wherever you are. Taking a sip of water. I'm going to have a little bit of coffee. Alrighty. So in your child's pose, pouring your heart through, letting your hips fall back towards your heels. Feeling that connection now with your forward. We're going inwards like we do in a forward fold. We can offer breath into our back body, expanding out our chest, our back ribs, feeling breath into our kidneys, our lower back. Two more breaths. Beautiful, guys. And when you're ready, we're going to transition back up into downward facing dog. Alrighty, so I mentioned we're going to go into our hips this morning, so it started with our squat, our Malasana squat. So we're going to go into pigeon now to open our hips up a little bit more. So if pigeon's not in your practice, permission to go into a figure 4 or thread the needle on your back. So I'll just show that just for a second. So it's the same stretch that you're going to get in pigeon. You can do that here with your figure 4 or you thread your needle. Alrighty, so that's serving your body. If you want to go for it, we're going to go into pigeon. Breathing your right leg up behind you. Can you take your right knee so it's coming up to your right elbow? And just help your right foot across. And we're going to stretch that left leg long behind us. So if you have tight hips like me, you may already be feeling this here. And you want to just settle and square your hips off. So you can stay here. Or if you want to come down into the stretch a little bit more, you can come down on your elbows. Making sure though that that's not shifting your hips at all. And only if you can stay here for 5 or 8 breaths. And if you have the movement, you can come all the way down and your forehead can be rested. Now I don't have that movement and I don't have a block with me, so I'm going to stay here. So whatever you've chosen, can you settle here? Can you link with your breath? And stay for 5 breaths. So pigeon's one of these poses where, you know, you hope that your instructor talks really fast, or you can come out of it early. May I just offer that, can you just hold it for maybe 1 breath more? Thinking, is there something in my head that's wanting me to come out of that? If it's painful, absolutely come out. But if coming back to your breath, and can you see what may come up? And maybe you can soften just for 2 more breaths. Beautiful, guys. Wherever you are, coming up, dragging your knee back, or coming down into windshield wipers on your back if you're on your back in figure 4. And just coming back from side to side. Feeling that difference now on your right side. When you're ready, coming back up to second side, because I still want to give you guys a few minutes of Shavasana. So taking your left leg up behind you, taking your left knee up towards your elbow, and placing that left leg across. And just scooching back with your right leg so you feel that stretch in your left hip, and knowing, as always, one side can be completely different than the other, just awareness. So where does it serve you, this pigeon second side? You may stay here, or maybe you come down on your elbows, or you come all the way down with your forehead to the mat. You can inch that right leg back if you want to deepen a little bit. 5 breaths here. Two more. Beautiful, guys. Letting yourself gently come out of that, no rushing, being gentle with yourself. And just wagging your tail from side to side one more time as we transition onto our backs. Coming all the way down to your final resting pose. So if you're already ready to be in Shavasana, you can go there. And maybe you just want to wag your tail or windshield wipe your legs from side to side before you get there. And offering any movement that your body may be craving here before you settle for a final few minutes of class. Maybe tucking your shoulders in or coming up into cactus arms. Letting your breath soften. Feel that support that your mat is giving you. Take these final few moments of rest. Bringing your awareness back to your body now. I know it was a short one. If you are able to stay for longer Shavasana, please do so. For those of us that need to get on with our day, slowly bringing some movement back into your body. Maybe opening and closing your eyes. Maybe just massaging out your head, taking your head from side to side. Before offering a long stretch, like we just woke up from a 10-minute Shavasana, and rolling over to one side or the other, maybe sitting in fetal position just for a breath before pushing yourself up to a seat at the top of your mat. So taking hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Gaze can be lowered or eyes can be closed. Taking a moment to notice any changes in your body that your practice may have brought for you. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more warmed up. How's your mind feeling? How's your heart feeling? Thank you for joining me this morning. It's been my honor in leading you through your practice. Know that the love and the light in my heart bows to the love and the light in your heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, friends. I hope that this practice brings a little joy to your day, and enjoy the long weekend. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my holidays. It's been really nice to be at home and to recharge. So find out what recharges you, and hopefully this yoga session this morning was the first part of recharging yourself and having a great long weekend. Namaste. We'll see you next week.